high in the foothills above Boulder, Colorado, where pine trees lean like tired prospectors and the wind still smells faintly of dynamite and regret, there once stood a mining camp so chaotic that even the gold tried to escape. They called it Rogus, which, according to locals, was Latin for nothing here makes sense, but stay anyway. And in the year 1905, Rogus belonged to one company, the notorious, half-functional, questionably legal, Tong Mining Company. Now before we begin, let's establish something important. Everything you are about to hear is either mostly true, barely true, or enthusiastically untrue, which, historically speaking, is how most mining camps operated. Rogus sat above Boulder Creek, clinging to a ridge so steep that mules had to lean forward just to think about climbing it. The gold veins here were rich, very rich. Records claim that between 1903 and 1908, the Tong mine produced roughly 18,000 ounces of gold, which today would be worth enough to buy Boulder, or at least rent parking, and presiding over this chaos were four men who should never have been allowed near explosives. First, Charlie Wallace, superintendent, former railroad foreman, permanent scowl, owned 6 watches and trusted none of them. Charlie believed schedules were sacred. Unfortunately, time in Rogus was optional. Shifts began when the whistle worked, which it rarely did. Second, Tanner Riley, assayer, chemist, self-appointed philosopher.
Believed gold could be persuaded to appear through encouragement, often spoke kindly to ore samples.
And once tried to baptize a nugget, which did not improve its purity. Third, Big Eddie Malone, head of security, 6'4", 200 pounds, terrified of bats, which was unfortunate, because the mine had thousands. And finally, the most dangerous man in camp, Silas Snake Eyes Cooper, bookkeeper, which in mining camps meant accountant, spy, gambler, rumor dealer, and occasionally, arson investigator. Now, let's talk about the gold. The Tong vein was discovered by accident. A mule tripped, kicked a rock, split it open, and revealed a streak of gold so thick that men wept. The mule was promoted, briefly, then sold. Production exploded. Within months, the mine was pulling out nearly 300 ounces per week. That's a fortune. That's also a lot of temptation, which is where the characters began misbehaving. Charlie Wallace insisted on strict accounting, every nugget weighed, every flake logged, every pan inspected, which would have worked if Silas Cooper wasn't editing the books, quietly, creatively, and with impressive imagination. Soon, discrepancies appeared. 5 ounces missing here, 10 there, 20 unaccounted for after a blast. Charlie blamed miners blamed mules refused to comment. Meanwhile, Tanner Riley announced something alarming. The vein was changing direction, which meant the richest gold now ran directly under the camp's only saloon. This caused immediate problems, legal problems, structural problems, and personal problems. Because the saloon belonged to Eddie Malone's sister, who did not appreciate having her floor collapse into wealth. So the company voted they would tunnel under the saloon, quietly, carefully, and without telling the owner, which, historically, always ends well. 3 nights later, the saloon floor collapsed, the piano vanished, 2 gamblers fell into a gold seam, and 1 bartender emerged holding a nugget the size of a chicken. Business improved, but now, everyone knew, gold lay directly beneath Rogus, which meant everyone was stealing. Miners salted pockets, guards looked away, assayers misweighed, bookkeepers adjusted, even the cook once tried boiling ore in soup, which ruined dinner, but produced a disappointing broth. By summer, nearly 400 ounces of gold had vanished. Officially, unofficially, far more. Then came the fight, the famous one, the Tong Gold War. It began over a single nugget, 6 ounces, bright, perfect, discovered by Tanner Riley during assay. He logged it, set it aside, and went to lunch. When he returned, the nugget was gone. Instead, a note, borrowed, will return richer. Signed, C.W. Charlie Wallace.
Charlie claimed it was a joke. Silas claimed it was theft. Eddie claimed it was evidence. Tanner claimed the nugget had feelings.
Voices rose, accusations flew, and finally,
Charlie accused Silas of skimming thousands. Silas produced altered books proving Charlie was stealing. Tanner produced chemical evidence proving both were lying.
Eddie produced a shotgun, which ended the meeting. By morning, the mine was divided, half loyal to Charlie, half loyal to Silas. Tanner loyal only to gold, Eddie loyal to whichever side paid him lunch. Production stopped, guards switched sides, tunnels were blocked, shafts sabotaged, someone released bats into the bunkhouse, which was either warfare or an accident. And then, the explosion. One night, shaft 3 collapsed, dynamite detonated early. No one died, but a hidden chamber opened, revealing the richest pocket yet. Pure gold, veins inches thick, enough to end the war or start a bigger war. Within days, every faction tried claiming ownership.
Charlie said company law, Silas said bookkeeping rights, Tanner said mineral law, Eddie said whoever survived got it, which simplified negotiations.
Finally, they agreed. The gold would be divided, equally, under supervision, in daylight, with witnesses. They counted for 3 days. At the end, the chamber produced nearly 2,000 ounces of gold, one of the richest strikes in Boulder County history. Then, it vanished. Overnight, every ounce. No tunnel damage, no broken locks, no tracks, just gone. The camp went insane. Men accused ghosts. Ghosts were offended. Charlie resigned. Silas disappeared. Tanner claimed the gold had migrated spiritually. Eddie blamed bats. Within a year, Rogus collapsed. The company folded, the mine flooded, and the characters scattered. Years later, a prospector found something strange in a cave miles away. A crate. Inside, gold bars stamped WTMC 1905, nearly 1,800 ounces, and a note. Too much gold ruins friendships, so we hid it. Signed, C.T.S.E. And that, friends, is the twisted history of mining Camp Rogus, where fortunes were made. Gold was stolen, and the only thing more unstable than the tunnels were the men running them. If you enjoyed this twisted tale from Colorado's most dysfunctional mining camp, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. It helps keep these legends buried just shallow enough to find, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss next week's Twisted History, where the facts misbehave, the gold disappears, and the past always hides its receipts. Thank you for watching, and come back soon for more Twisted History.